Hello friends, I am Vanidas Mangathil. In this tutorial, we are going to make a very loose sketch from imagination and we will then try to convert that into a convincing watercolor. So please take this as a practice and we are not going for any well-planned or precise work. This is a practice and we are using our imagination and our dynamic decision and we are going to finish this watercolors, right? Let us begin. I have used a watercolor paper for this work, 300 GSM cold pressed and 100% cotton paper. Right? And I am making an imaginary structure, a tiled roof and some kind of a structure, maybe something. I really don't have a very clear idea. You can just take it as just a structure and what else we need. I'm looking for some figures and maybe a couple of vehicles and some more structure if required. So these are just some very vague thoughts. I am just dynamically trying to sketch these things. Okay, these are very kind of loose sketch, not precise. What I'm looking for is just some elements which are in right proportion. While drawing this, I'm also thinking about the proportions. So the proportions should be convincing. Okay, right. Now maybe an electric pole. No, not very precise. Okay, some cables maybe, and what else? Maybe one more electric pole at a distance to suggest some depth. Maybe some more far away structure. Okay, so overall it should be having some kind of interest. That is the idea. A couple of structures, some figures, maybe few vehicles, maybe an auto rickshaw here. I think overall this is the kind of idea that I am going to proceed with, and we might keep adding more elements like some more figures, maybe some trees. See, I want the paper should be filled with some elements, and overall the combination of elements should be good looking. I mean, in the sense of composition. Okay, so that is the only idea, and rest everything is very whatever elements we are drawing. These are all very dynamic. And coming to the washes, I have wetted the paper and applying some clean blue color, wet on wet, to suggest some simple sky. Okay, so these are, I mean, this time I used little bit more brighter color. Usually I don't use this much bright sky, but I think I am using a couple of blue colors from Mijello Mission Gold watercolor, but you could use any brand that you have, right? And this is olive green from Camel brand for the trees. And most of the colors that I am using will be, usually they are from Camel Artist watercolor brands. Couple of colors I use from other brands. Okay, this is just thought of filling the background. Okay, completing the background by adding some elements like nearby and far away trees. Okay, so that the paper is getting kind of filled with the initial washes. Okay, so we have used some blues and olive green as of now. Okay, we haven't used much of colors. And the brush that I am using is a mop brush. It is from Camel brand, and it is any soft round brush will do. Okay, you don't necessarily need a specific brand mop brush. Any soft round brush will be good enough. Let us suggest some foreground, some ground using burnt sienna color, pale wash of burnt sienna, and I have used burnt sienna from Camel brand. Okay, and let us make it a little bit more darker tone for some color variation. Okay, some darker tones. And I think the initial wash can be treated as done. Most of the background and the foreground are done. Now a little bit of a reddish orange kind of a color for the roof. Just filling that area. It is sort of a flat wash, but even though it is a flat wash, I might then add little bit of a color change. Okay, so it no longer becomes flat wash now. It is kind of a variegated wash where you are using two colors. One is a lighter version, and the other is a darker version. Okay. Now for the wall, I am using a pale orange kind of a color. Okay. And for the bottom area, I am using cobalt green. Okay, so the cobalt green color. So I use this color just for a color change. Okay, just for a variation, because everything is very warm. So I thought we'll make it little bit of a different color. So contrasting color. And this roof also I'm making kind of reddish orange, but since it is far away, I have made it little bit of grayish. Okay, and you can mix a little bit of maybe Payne's gray or other thing and make it little pale, so that it looks to be at a distance. Okay, and some more Payne's gray for the shadow area for the building. Okay, these are very simple suggestions. We are trying to get more things done with less brushworks and in a very suggestive, simplified way. It is Payne's gray and little bit of orange mixed to that. You can see some warmth in that in the color. So that is because of the presence of orange added to Payne's gray. And some darkness, some shadow tones underneath that, because this area of the wall will not get much light because of that awning or shade. So we are making it darker tone using Payne's gray. Even though we are doing it from imagination, we should always try to apply some logic. Okay, whenever we come to the tones, the shadows, the proportions, those things should be convincing. Okay, so you need to have imagination as well as you need to apply logic. Okay, logic when it comes to the tone variation, because the things under a shadow will be darker, and the proportion, as I told, the overall scale. See, there should be some level of consistency. Okay, and we should also respect the overall perspective. Okay, I think this tree can be a little darker. Okay, because I don't want too much of brightness in this area, because it is kind of a less important area, but that needs to be there. Okay, so just some darker tones. I'm reinstating those trees. The earlier trees went very light once when it was dried. So I thought we need a little bit of darker tones to keep that area a little engaged. Okay, this video is sped up by 1.5. That means this is 1.5 times faster than the usual my painting speed. Okay. This is the shadow for the tiled roof, and I have made it dark using Payne's gray, and underneath that I have added orange color to emphasize the yellow color of the wall. Okay, so this looks warm and interesting, the shadow. I'm little concerned that it may dry a little lighter. You can see that the previously applied dark colors are now little dry here. So I'm adding a little bit more darker Payne's gray to suggest the shadows strongly. Okay, I think this is fair enough. The overall shape of the structure is clear. Okay, the form is clear. Now we may need some details later. Okay, we may need to add some windows or doors. That we will do later. And here also we can bring out the forms by adding some darker tones. It's all suggestions, okay, not a very precise things. And let us now go for that electric pole. It's a dry brushworks. I have applied little thicker consistency paint using a liner brush, and you can use any small round brush also. If you don't have a liner brush, you can use small round brush. Usually the liner brushes are kind of round brushes, but with long bristles, okay. Some cables, and these electric poles and these cables, all they add some interest, and along with that it also helps in getting the depth. Okay, it is an opportunity to show the perspective, the sense of distance, and the overall depth of the image. Okay, with the help of those electric poles and cables, the second house looks to be farther away from the first house. Okay, that is what is the objective. I think most of the bigger elements are now done. We need to focus on the figures and the vehicles and these smaller details like the windows, etc. This again is done with a very small round brush, the liner brush in this case. But yeah, you can use a small round brush. Okay. Take a look. I mean, pause the video. If you are following along, stop at some point and take few steps back and then see how your image is coming out. And you should frequently take few steps back and see the artwork, because when you see from a distance, you will understand those perspective issues and any other issues. It will be more apparent, more clear. You can see the artwork as a whole rather than individual elements of the artwork. Okay. Now, to me, I'm pretty happy with whatever has been already formed, and now I'm paying attention to some of the smaller elements. Like this is supposed to be an auto rickshaw, which I'm currently painting with some yellows and grays and black colors. You know the colors of an auto rickshaw. Okay, you can browse if you're not aware of this. This actually it comes in different colors. Some earlier it was yellows and blacks. These days it is coming with yellows and green colors. The auto rickshaw. Okay, so if you want, you can use yellow and green for this. The bottom area could be green, and the top could be yellow. I think this is convincing, reasonably okay. The scale also looks reasonably good to me. Okay. And now some colors for the figures. I'm not precisely coloring these figures. These are just some suggestions. Okay. I don't want to make it very precise, very beautiful. I want to make it as impressions. Okay. So practice this way, okay, without worrying too much about the final outcome, without worrying too much about making it very pretty. You practice it, okay. Try to just be bold, be casual when you do your brush work, okay. Even if it goes out of the line sometimes it is perfectly fine. If you precisely draw it within the lines, then it may look like an illustrative work. So you can be more casual than that. You can be bold, and it can be kind of suggestive, okay, the details, impressions. I'm just trying to develop these figures a little bit, the upper body and the lower body. Usually I use lighter color for the upper body and darker colors like Payne's Grey or burnt sienna for the lower body. And while making this, you have to ensure the overall proportion and the perspective. Okay, you should know how the perspective changes when people go farther away, and when people come nearby. And if you're having any issue with that, there is a playlist in my channel on perspective of a crowd of figures. You can just browse for that perspective of crowd of figures, and you will find many videos explaining the logic behind the perspective of crowds, how to come out with the right perspective of the crowd of people. Okay. And if you think some of the approach that I am doing, some of the element that I am making, if you have any doubt on that, okay, please do let me know. Write your questions in the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to get back with my answers. And if some of the points needs more clarification, I'm happy to come out with a specific tutorial to clarify your doubts. So please feel free to ask your questions, write your comments and suggestions in the comment box below. And if you think these videos are helping you, you are learning something from this, please consider subscribing to my channel and pressing the bell notification. You will get notified with all my new videos. I'm planning to release a couple of videos every week. Right. I think the figures are now taking shape. I am using orange color for the skin tone because these are very tiny figures. You cannot make the face or the arms, etc. very clearly. You can just put some precise marks, okay, to suggest the face, to suggest the arms, legs, etc. So I am using orange color for that. And at a very tiny level, this orange looks like skin tone. Now, little bit of white directly picked up from the tube to suggest some of these highlights, the top of the head, some shoulder, etc. Because these figures are in the light hitting area, so they will accept some light. So these white touches will bring some light into the scene. Okay. And this is to be done with pretty much care, because you can very easily overdo this, and if the white marks are done wrongly, it may spoil the work. So you be careful, don't overdo this, the usage of opaque whites. And these opaque whites are not conventionally allowed in watercolors, as you might have read, you might have studied. So if you think that you should not use white, please stay away from this using whites. I am pretty happy using white in a very limited, very controlled way, because that adds a lot of interest, a lot of contrast. I think this everything as of now is reading well. I'm pretty much happy with this. And there are some white dots left in between, so I'm just trying to cover those white dots, white sparkles left in between. Because I was thinking that there are too many white spots, white dots in between. So I'm suggesting some green leaves, etc. to cover those white spots. Okay. Okay, I think I'm pretty much happy. I don't want to do too much of addition now. Maybe some suggestion for the tiles on the roof. I'm using a liner brush and slightly a darker consistency red color for that. Red and burnt sienna mixed probably. And these are some dotted lines. Okay. I think this is okay. The tiles look good now, at least to me. You can give me a feedback if the roof was looking better without the tiles or with the tiles, because many times I'm a little confused whether I should add these lines for the tiles, or I should just leave it without these lines. So you can let me know your opinion, what you feel. Okay, but I personally feel that these lines, the tile lines, are visually improved. I mean, improving the scene. Right, if you can see if anything is left out, usually what happens to me is that I tend to forget some of those tiny shadows for the figures, many times I do forget. So if at all you think that some of the shadows are missing, those are not deliberate. I might have missed it. So if you notice anything that that you think that I have missed, so please let me know. I will try to take note of such omissions in the upcoming videos. Okay. So I think overall the composition and the arrangement of elements and the coloring, I think they are pretty much okay. Please let me know if your opinion about the composition, the overall elements and the color scheme, etc. And I would be happy to know your views. Since it is an imaginary one without any reference, your view really matters. Okay, so please let me know what you think about the composition and the color scheme, what you would have done differently, etc. So this little bit of a shadow, I thought little bit of a shadow on the ground may improve the overall depth, and it will add little bit more interest in the foreground. Okay, so that is something that I decided to add. And maybe should we do some tiny shadows on the left side also? I think this is good enough. So thank you very much. I think we can declare this as done. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions or suggestions or comments, please do write in the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to come back with my responses as early as possible. If you think this video is helping you, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. And if you think this can help your artist friends, please share this video to your artist friends, artist group, so that they also can take benefit of the video. And I will also get a wider audience for this video. I will have a wider reach to my channel. So thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll soon see you with another interesting tutorial. And keep practicing and keep practicing. So that is the key to success. So we'll see you soon. Bye bye.